There is an important role in digital marketing and in websites and technology in using diagnostics. I want to talk a little bit today about diagnostics and like their place in this world that we live in the digital sector. So diagnostics are often in our world thought about a lot like diagnosing a car. There's diagnosing something that's broken, and there's also this other side of planning to protect against things that are broken or having a strategic plan of attack. When businesses tend to approach digital marketing, a lot of times they forget that you don't want to make decisions based on guesses. You want to make decisions based on data. And the way to get data is to do diagnostic work. So when we say diagnostics in our world, there's a couple different types of diagnostics that we do. So we'll diagnose websites from a conversion standpoint and a traffic standpoint. So we've got what's called a digital marketing analysis that basically diagnoses if you've got an existing web presence. It basically goes through and looks at how well your website's set up, your UI, UX, your nav, how likely this website is going to be to convert. And then it looks at like your traffic and how you're set up for SEO and what your competition is doing. And by diagnosing and working through all of those different things in this analysis or diagnostic, you're able to use data to drive your decision making. So if you look at, for example, we need more website traffic. We want more traffic here. You might think that the best thing to do is do SEO, right? You might think search engine optimizing is going to be the best way. But what if it's not? What if we find out that the competition is extremely fierce and it's going to take us 6 months to get any traction in that space? And you need sales and new clients tomorrow. We might look at Google PPC or Google Display Ads or YouTube ads. We might look at Meta ads. We might look at LinkedIn ads. There's a million different other ways to bring traffic to your website. Maybe you've got an email list of 9,000 people. We should probably start automating and hammering that list, right? SEO might or might not be the best thing. So what often happens is someone will come in and say, I've got this problem with traffic. And we may realize through a diagnostic that they actually have plenty of traffic, but it's not converting. So that means either the traffic's bad or it means our website is not working to convert that traffic. It might be both problems at the same time, right? You might have the trifecta of problems and have all the problems. You might have a technical problem, a traffic problem, and a conversion problem. It happens. The good news is it's all fixable. But in order to fix it, you've got to diagnose it. So it's literally like me going to the car shop and saying, I don't know, my car's making this knocking sound. They've got to figure out, is it bad fuel? It's not getting air intake through the system. It can't cool down. The radiator's busted. Like they've got to diagnose it before it's fixable. So we do digital marketing analysis. We have a website analysis that doesn't worry so much with how we're going to bring traffic, but more, is our website communicating what it should properly? Is it following, a story brand framework where it's actually being helpful? Does it have good content? Is it going to convert? We look at those kinds of things. If you're having a technical disruption or massive issue like we tend to get ourselves into, where clients come in going, the whole thing's broken. I don't know what happened, but I broke nothing works, or I can't do sales anymore. Or my website, store stopped working, or we don't get our phone calls. There's a million things that go wrong with websites, right? It's not integrating with our ERP. It's not integrating with our CRM. There's a lot of problems you have with websites on the technical side. And diagnosing those issues helps us know, can they be fixed? Is there a vast amount of issues to the point where it needs to be rebuilt? Is it a lost cause and we just got to completely start over? Like, if you don't go through the diagnostic process of nailing down what's broken and not working the way we want it to, we'll never know what fixing it actually looks like. We've had people come in asking for a new website only to realize, you know what? Website's pretty good. It just needs to be cleaned up and optimized, and we can work with this and bring you traffic. So instead of spending $25,000 or something, right? I'm making this up, but instead of spending that to go rebuild this whole thing, we only maybe need to spend this much money over here to do this, and now we're good, and we can take, say, that other 20 grand and focus on driving traffic and getting you sales. The thing with technology is you want to avoid wasting money on it. Technology always costs money. It's always costing money to maintain, to build, to stabilize, to optimize, all the things. But you don't, so you want to spend on technology. Most businesses need technology in order to operate, but you don't want to waste on technology. You don't want to have wasted resource there. And this is where having diagnostic work done on your presence really helps. The other thing too is if you're ever looking at starting a business or building an app, for example, or building a web application or building some connection software or whatever it is that you might want to be building, you want to know who's in the space and how hard are they going to be to compete with. I will tell you, 90% of the time, when someone tells us who their competitors are, they probably are legit competitors. They're in the same market competing. But online, your competitors are completely different typically than who you think you're competing with. And we've seen this across every industry. Oh, I am a general contractor. My competition is this person. They might build the same houses, the same size, at the same price, in the same area that you do. But if they're number one on Google, they're competing with you. If they're number 68 and you're number 7, they're not your competition. Your competition are the 6 listings that are occurring above you, which is stopping you from getting the traffic, right? So the diagnostic, even when you're thinking about making something that doesn't already exist, the diagnostic work is to go do competitive research, do market research, and understand what we're walking into here so that we know if we build this thing, are people ever going to find it? Is it something that can be built up? Are there people doing it already? You want to know what's available. Other ways you can use diagnostics are things like we've got this CRM we use to manage our clients, but it doesn't do half the things we want it to do. So you might need to go and have a team like ours come in and look at all the options out there and give you the ups and downs and help you make a decision about what CRM you actually need. Maybe there isn't one on the market that can be customized to do what you want and it needs to be built. You won't know if you don't go through the research and diagnosing process to figure out actually where the help is required. So it's a funny thing. Always we try to go, let's just go straight to the solution without working through the problem. And being in this business now for over 15 years, I know when I started out doing this kind of work, I immediately heard someone and went, here's how to fix it, right? I was a problem solver. I actually wanted to go to school to be a doctor and I decided not to. I was pre-med when I started at college and don't laugh at me, but ended up as a music performance major. And I was a professional drummer and still am very successfully actually. So I'm glad that I went to school and did all that. But I started in the medicine world because I liked diagnosing things. I liked solving a problem. When I ended up in the website world, in the digital marketing space, I would kind of skip the diagnosing process and just go, oh, their thing, let's build you a new one. Because, I was younger, not really young, but younger. And I was trying to figure out how, honestly, to get somebody's problem solved with the least amount of money as possible. And when I hit the target, it was fantastic. But sometimes I would miss the target, because I didn't really understand the problem. I was younger in this game and I didn't have the experience to be able to go, oh, the actual problem here is this, right? client coming in, this thing's broken. All I want to do is rebuild it, right? I want to rebuild, because I didn't know enough to go, wait a minute, if they spend all their money rebuilding, we can't market them. So how can I make a bridge product here to help them get from stuck to much more unstuck, maybe not perfect, but good enough so we can use their money to get them business, and then later we can fix the problem when there's plenty of money to do so. This is where that diagnostic and analysis and research process comes in. So when you find yourself in the marketing world feeling stuck, feeling like the website's not hitting, the marketing's not hitting, our tech stack's crumbling underneath of our feet and we don't know what to do, sign up for one of our diagnostics, talk to our sales team, find out what's going to suit you the best, and go through the process of digging in. We'll help you define your goals. We'll help you figure out what your problems are that you see. We'll dig in and find out what your problems actually are. Look at your competitors, look at your market, figure out how to get you from where you are now to unstuck and then being able to thrive in your marketplace. Ultimately, that's what Real-Time Digital is the best at. And it's funny and ironic because it was the thing I always tried to avoid, was like, let's not spend money up here figuring out what's wrong. Let's just fix all the things. It's hard to fix all the things when you don't know what the actual problems are. It would be the equivalent of going to a doctor and them saying, I don't know, you look a little pale, we're going to put you on cancer treatment drugs. If you don't have cancer, you probably do not want to be on cancer treatment drugs. You need to diagnose and make sure that you have something that's treatable in order to medicate. And in our industry, agencies tend to do the opposite. They tend to go, I'm going to solve this problem with all these cool tools that we have, without ever stopping to think about, wait a minute, like, what's the actual problem here? Like, what's wrong? If we know what's wrong, we can make a plan. If we don't know what's wrong, we're all guessing at what's wrong. And now we're potentially wasting money to fix things that aren't broken, instead of getting down to the root of the problem and then solving that problem. So don't be afraid of diagnostics. They serve a massive purpose in this digital space that we're in. AI is all about diagnostics, like being able to diagnose a problem with AI. Incredibly powerful, right? Don't skip the part where you figure out what the problem is, because once you've skipped it, you've moved into solution land, and maybe that wasn't really the problem you were trying to solve, and now you've spent $20,000 solving a problem that could have been solved in $5,000, and you've got $15,000 less to bring people to your business, which is ultimately what you're trying to do. Nobody wants to spend money on websites so that they sit there and look pretty. No one wants to do that. Everyone wants their website and their digital marketing to be a tool for their business. It's very, very hard to use a tool when you don't know what it is that you're trying to fix.